So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Deidre Norton. I am a Platinum consultant with Team Sky and Team Skyline. I've been with the company for about 2 years now. I am a Platinum leader as well. So today's training is going to be on VAX for beginners, and it is all about where do I start? So first thing I want to make sure that each of you have registered for VAX. Also, please feel free to unmute at any time during the training. I am one of those that likes for everyone to ask questions if we're at a certain point before I move forward. So I want to make sure that everyone gets the most out of this training that they can. So feel free to unmute. I will try to see comments, questions in the chat box, but once I share my screen, it's hard to keep up with that chat box to know who's asking what. So if you have a question and it's not answered, please feel free to unmute and just ask me, okay? Want to make sure that all of you are registered for VAX. Is there anyone here that is not registered for VAX already? Could you either unmute and let me know or put it in the chat box really quick before I share my screen? Anyone not registered for VAX? All right, looks like there's no one putting it in the chat box. So it seems like everybody probably is registered and you're exactly where you should be as far as your training. If you've registered for VAX, that's one of our key suppliers that we have you register for. So I am going to share my screen now so that we can begin. How many of you have already explored VAX? Can you let me know that? Tika, I know you have, girl. That's good. Ivan, you have. Okay, awesome. I see you, Tika, walking around and smiling. I see that big smile on your face. Katie, you've not had a chance to check it out. So Katie, are you registered? Lauren, not a ton. Okay.
I am registered.
Okay.
Haven't gotten a chance to look at it.
All right, no problem. So I see someone just joined me and they're logged in as iPhone. Can you either unmute for me or put in the chat box your name, please, and who your mentor is? I know you just came on. It said iPhone, but I don't see a name on there. Joshua, okay. So who was your mentor, Joshua? Joshua, who is your mentor and are you registered for VAX already? Can you please let me know that before I start sharing my screen? Got some late people coming in here. Joshua, if you can hear me, can you let me know who your mentor is? Or if you don't know, just let me know that, okay? Jennifer, I think you just joined as well. If you could do me a favor, put in the chat box, please, who your mentor is. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Oh, okay, Jennifer, is this Jennifer Rasmussen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great, awesome. Okay, all right, so Joshua, you're through Michelle, so you're on our team as well. Okay, guys, so I think that's good, and you are registered. Jennifer, are you registered for VAX?
I believe so. I'm going to double check that today.
Okay. All right, so as I mentioned for you, for those that just came in, feel free to unmute at any time. It's hard for me to keep up with the chat box once I start sharing my screen. So let's go ahead and get going. And then we're going to go to VAX. If I can find it. There we go. All right, so first thing you do, obviously, is if you're already registered, when you click on to log into VAX, your agency number is going to be the IATA number. So this is important. So if you don't know that, when you're logging in for the first time, or if you log in again, you're always going to have to enter your agency number. So that's 05824840. And your username for VAX is going to be your agent ID. So that should automatically be populated. They do make us enter this IATA number again, and then your password should be stored as well. So you just enter your the IATA number for agency number. Username is your agent ID, not your name or not your email, and then your password is whatever you configured for VAX, and then you just hit log in. So we're going to go dive a little bit into what VAX is all about, what it has to offer, all that good stuff. So you can see at the top, there's a lot of tabs. You can do a new reservation. That's where obviously you can start a new reservation, or you can scroll down to here. Now, there are different suppliers in VAX that we can use. There's Apple, FunJet, Travel, Southwest, all of these. You'll find Universal Parks and Resorts in Orlando in here, as well as for California. You can do Busch Gardens, there's Discovery Cove, SeaWorld, Sesame Place. There's some groups contracted tours with Transglobal Tours, and then Travel and Leisure Go. So some of the main ones that we use obviously is going to be Apple, FunJet, probably Southwest, Universal, probably for a good bit of you. Blue Sky Tours, I have used that is actually for anything Hawaii. I use them mostly when I do Hawaii bookings. You can do Hawaii and Apple, FunJet, whatever. So you're always going to be able to see your suppliers there. Then if we go back up to the top, existing reservations. So I'm just going to click on this to show you. If you already have a reservation made in VAX, you would click on existing reservations. And this is where you would put in a reservation number in order to retrieve that reservation, okay? Now, for any saved itineraries that you create, you can save itineraries or quotes in VAX. So these are some that I've been working on for a couple of people. So this is where I find all of my saved itineraries if I want to go back to it, if someone's ready to book, or if you're trying to look at some of the information on what you've prepared, this is where you find that. Trip bookmarks, I don't really use that much. There is a groups tab, and then this is your settings tab. If you click on that arrow, there's account settings in here. There's a help center, that's where you would go, and you could find, we'll just click on that. We'll go here and I'll kind of show you. Okay, so you can see here, help center, what is VAX, getting started. So for you newbies, I would recommend going here to this help center to see what you could kind of go through in here. This will kind of show you how to send a sales email. You can customize emails with your logo, compare itineraries, just kind of play around in here and see issues. If you have to find a phone number for an exact supplier when you need to call directly, this is your VAX support. If you have issues with your login or anything, you can call this number or email them. I recommend calling, obviously. Here's just some different ways that you're able to, they can help you with it, right? So this is where you come to find the actual phone numbers. And if you notice, the phone number is the same for Apple, Blue Sky Tours, FunJet, most all of them. The only phone numbers that we have different is going to be SeaWorld, Universal, VAX Hotels, anything that you have to do that's related to published air. Otherwise, all these numbers will be the same, and then you'll follow the prompts to get to the actual supplier that you need in here. So that's just kind of good to know and to save, but that's where you find that information. There is an educations tab in this area as well in the help section. So I recommend for all of you that are new to this, if you click on supplier training and education, you can find some different certifications that you can register for. It gives you the dates they're coming up. So this is kind of where you can come in here and just see if anything interests you that you want to like certify in. And you can register directly here. Okay. VAX training and education. I definitely recommend this. Learning on VAX, what it all means. booking on VAX, how to use the filters, selecting fare categories, cruises. I'm not gonna tell you to ignore it, but if you got anything cruise related, I 100% recommend do not book a cruise unless it's through the actual cruise supplier. There are some of our other suppliers that have cruise bookings in them. I don't recommend it. It's just not something I do. And I don't think many other people would tell you any different. Okay. And then for you new ones, this is gonna be a good one. New advisor education. Click on here. And this is gonna give you the beginning part of learning really VAX. All the essentials to meet the brands, be able to join certain organizations and build your business using VAX. This is gonna be very, very resourceful for you here. World of Hyatt, this is a good one. I book a lot of Hyatt resorts. So I have this certification. You just kind of play around in here. This is welcome to VAX, the booking 101. Okay, so if you hit this, learn more. You can search by filter. So this is just education. So I just recommend for all of you to get in here and kind of play around with it to see what's what. Let's get back to the main page on VAX. All right, resources, super, super helpful. It's exactly what it is, okay? Industry calendar. We'll click on this just to see what it's about. I've never actually clicked on this. It's pretty interesting right here. Oh, okay, so you can kind of see what's scheduled. See if there's anything on here. Cruise, no. So I'm not really sure. Yeah, so this will show you, I guess, if there's any seminars, trade shows, webinars, fan trips in here. So that's kind of good. Then let's go back for a resource tab. Specialty travel for weddings, family travel, travel resources, any of this, okay? Now, Compass. Compass on VAX. This is sometimes too where you can, so here again, cruises, you can even, you can dive into this and just see. Waves is something that is a program that VAX has to where you can get points and use it for yourself. 5 resources you may not be utilizing that may be helpful. So it almost looks like I need to get in here. So you can just see there's different things that you can click on. So this is about theme parks and water parks. Oceana Cruises, Oceana Cruise Line is really nice as well, okay? So these are just trending articles. There's a new Reed Palace has opened up in Jamaica. It's called the Quarrel. Okay. And then the Compass magazine. If you guys want to order it, you can. I have this that comes to me. You can see the digital version, but you can have these mailed to you. There's old ones, so you can register right here. Let's go back to our main page. So that pretty much covers this. I think we hit the education tab. Yeah. Destinations tab, you can see the different destinations that you could click on and look and kind of play around with. Offers and incentives. There's promotions. It's advisor incentives. Let's see what advisor incentives pulls up for us today. I'll be a little slow. All right, so this is some promotions that they have going on. This is a big one. I book a ton of the Travel Tea collection. So you right now they're offering 50% off, up to 50% off. There we go. So it was a little slow. Sorry. All right. So here you can come in, become a Tampa Bay specialist if you choose. For Baja, Principe Hotels and Resorts. You are able to book now and double your rewards if you book by the end of the month, which is tomorrow. So most of these are gonna be the end, okay? Going through, oh, this might be nice right here for Hilton Resorts and all-inclusive. Just booked 2 Arubas this week. Wow. So this year get free nights at Embassy Suites by Hilton and Aruba. Okay, so this is all advisor incentive. So this is where you can learn if there's any extras that you can get in here. Promotions tab. Take a second. That's because we're on our Zoom. It's going to be a little slow. Going to show you some promotions that you may want to engage in if you're booking for somebody and you're trying to get them a good deal. Always look. So here's right here at VAX's annual summer school. This will be good for all of you. So come back in here and see this. Starts July 8th. You can register to reserve your spot. So here's our promotions tab. Shows you the deadline for these promotions. So there probably will be new ones in here. Starting the 1st of the month. These are all for June, so these are a little late, but this is where you can find any promotions that's going on as well. And then the offer wizard kind of gives you some quick promotional specials, okay? You can see right here for Las Vegas, any departing trips that are from July 1st through 4/30. I don't know if that's 2025. Sometimes I get kind of frustrated at this because they don't really update it. Okay, so just play around in here and see what interests you. Does anybody have any questions so far just about the navigation in general?
I have a quick question. Can you just show again how you got to where you were just looking at with the promotions and the offer wizard and all that?
All right, so we're gonna go, this is the main page, okay? So we're on our main page. You just go to offers and incentives. And then you would click on the offer wizard tab, or you can do promotions, which shows any promotions. And then your advisor incentives tabs is here.
Okay, thanks. I just missed it.
Yeah, that's okay. And then here on the main page as well, you also can see promotions that they have. Here's upcoming webinars. So this shows you this week's best offers that they have going on. So this is going to give you the best deals that's out there. So this is to the Grenadines. This is Tempo by Hilton. Benefits for kids and groups promotion for the 5 hotels and residences. For the Hilton Tulum, there's a promotion right here. So this is where you find that. And then you can click here where it says view all promotions. So there's many areas that you can find your promotions. And you can filter if you wanted to search by a certain supplier, or if you wanted to search a destination. So let's just say, so you see all the different destinations that you can book in VAX. You wouldn't think that you could do some of these, but you can. Most people think it's just for like Caribbean, Mexico, those kind of places, St. Lucia. But here's all the places in VAX that you can book: Dominican, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, St. Kitts, Central Americas. You can do Belize and Costa Rica in here, Panama. You can do Europe, Germany, Greece, Italy. So let's just pull up Cancun and see what happens. Reset it and do your filter. Here's all your Cancun specials. I'm a big Cancun booker. I probably book more Cancun than anything else that I do. Here's Australia. That's not even Cancun, but here's where it shows you all the Cancun specials. So it could be here. So right now, the biggest promotion is with that Fiesta Americana Travelty Collection. It's going to end soon, but that's where we can find it. All righty, let's see here. If we missed anything. This is something new right here. All right. So you can subscribe right here to VAX emails. If you're already registered for VAX, you're probably pretty much getting those, but I highly recommend for all of you to take your promotions and your specials for your mock bookings and your marketing and your special stuff. Let me get back down here for a minute. Let me go to view all promotions. Because sometimes I always get my specials and my promotions from my promotional emails when I use for my marketing. But let me just kind of show you, if you wanted to, let's say, promote a special that's happening with, let's see what's next. So again, these are going to be over. So let's just say reuse. So come down here and you could click on this. You could kind of read what the promotions are. All right, you can do your search in here as well. So here's the different places for reuse. So you can see, save it to 59%. Pretty good deals in here. So you can pull promotions. If you wanted to promote one, you could come in here. And if you were just trying to promote the supplier that you're in, you can do a lot of copy and paste in from here. So anything in here that's specials, you're able to use for your marketing materials, which is nice. Back to our main page. This is new too. You can book directly with Margaritaville at Sea. It's just kind of been released. So you can book Margaritaville at Sea in here, and I may try that, you know. So this is exclusive for travel agents. Right now, if you wanted to try out a cruise with Margaritaville, you could go for $40 per night per person, and they give you a free stateroom upgrade, which is pretty nice. So if you clicked on this and you wanted to utilize it yourself, this will give you all the information on what you need to do in order to get registered with them, okay? Not too long ago, they offered some free cruises. So this is to the Bahamas, it looks like. You got to book by 12/25 to get it. So you can email it to yourself, whatever. Here's where you go to register. I'm going to walk you through really quick. Is everybody open to me doing a really quick run through? Excuse me, a really quick run through on how to actually do a booking, just to kind of re-navigate and go through it. Do you all want to see that? This training today was kind of just for beginners. Okay, I thought so, because we still have a little bit of time. Joshua, I think you might have just came back in. All right, so let's do it real quick. Let's see, let's just say we want to use Apple Vacation. So when I come in here, when I'm doing a quote, I use FunJet a lot. There's really no right or wrong. There's no rhyme or reason why. I do compare the both sometimes. They will be very similar in price. But my favorite go-to is FunJet. I don't know why. That's just what I use. And that's where I go. So let's choose FunJet. Okay. So here, you're able to begin your search. So you can do a flight and hotel. You could do flight, hotel, and transfers for the Mexican and Caribbean. You could do hotel only. Hotel only package plus. Just kind of play around with these. I'm going to do one today that has air, just to kind of show you how to navigate. So again, you can see you can do activities in here only. Okay. You can do multiple air with a shared hotel. Europe flight and hotel, Europe hotel only, Asia ski, you do ski packages, flight and hotel, you can do hotels only. This one, to be really honest with you, I'm not real sure what it is. I've never really come in here and did this. So you can do contract and group flights only. So what we're going to choose today is going to be flight, hotel, and transfers. Where to? My favorite spot. Okay, so we're going to depart from Atlanta. So this is where you put in your city if you don't know your airport code. I know most all the airport codes now, but for those of you that don't, just type in the city that you're departing from, and let's do Cancun. When you see Cancun pulled up, it's gonna give you an option to do Cancun hotels, which is gonna be in the hotel zone. Isla Mujeres, that's a little island off of Cancun. You can, if you know your clients want to go there. For a general search, if someone doesn't know where they want to go, then I normally do Cancun and Riviera Maya. Okay, that's going to cover like all that stretch, Playa del Carmen, Cozumel, Tulum, etc. Or if I know my clients want to be in the hotel zone, I'll just choose this. So we're going to choose this one today. And let's just do one room with 2 adults, no kids. Okay. We're going to choose the dates. We're going to go into September 14th through the 21st. And if we have a promo code that's being offered, we have one that was just over, it's about to end the end of the month. I used it yesterday. It gave $150 off. So always pay attention to your team chats or where your group that you're in. If there's a promotion that's offered, we will provide it in our chats. And a lot of times it will be even be in here. You'll get an email. So I'm not going to use the promotion code today, but it would give you $150 off. And here's what I do. This is personal preference. I always add travel protection unless when you qualified your client, if you've already asked them the question. I do that. And even if my clients tell me no, I still will put it on here. And I will show you why once we go through the booking. Travel protection is important. As much as you can encourage that, and if they just 100% refuse it, then there's nothing you can do. But you always want to make it known to those clients that if they do refuse travel protection, that if there's any changes, if there's any cancellations, there's probably going to be fees involved. If they have to cancel, there's probably not going to get a refund, etc. I just make it very, very clear. And if your clients refuse or decline travel protection, I always send my clients an email just stating, you have declined trip protection for your vacation. Could you please just confirm to this email that you do not want to add trip protection? That way you have it in writing if you ever need the proof, because that means they refuse it, you book a vacation. And I just had this happen. And he did not want trip protection. Nope, I don't need it. I don't want it. It's a waste of money. Okay. And I had him in an email that he confirmed it. Well, he decided last minute he wanted to add somebody. He wanted to change. He wanted to change resorts. And it ended up, it didn't work out the way he wanted it. He wanted to cancel. Well, guess what? He was going to lose everything, forfeited the air he had already paid for, was not going to be able to get a refund on the hotel. So again, it's just super important. And then what we'll do right here, so we're going to add it, because what you can do, even if they refuse, you can add it on it, or you can remove it when you send them the quote, give them a price for it without, but you can also say, if you choose to add travel protection, this is what it will cost to add to the total price. So let's just include it. And don't worry about unmuting if you guys have questions. It's better to ask now than it is to try to figure it out later.
Do you give them, do you ask them before you give them their quotes if they would like to have travel protection, and then you give them the quote of with and without after you ask them?
I do, and if they tell you that they don't, I do. That's how I qualify everybody. I always qualify them with certain questions that helps me.
Right.
Qualifying questions are obviously, where do you want to go?
Mhm.
Do you have a specific, what are your likes? What do you enjoy doing? Do you want somewhere that's, somewhere that's more nature oriented? Do you want to just have the beach and the gorgeous water? Are you a pool person? Are you a beach person? Do you have a preference on a room type? If they're on a budget, do you want me just to quote you out with the, cheapest room option that the resort has, meaning probably a garden view, or it could be a street view? I don't know. You just want to ask those kind of questions. I always ask. I have a preference on flights, what times they want to leave, how early are they willing to leave, when they want to return. Do they want, basic economy, which means they don't typically get to pick their seats. They'll be assigned when they check in. So you kind of ask those things about all of that stuff. And then once you qualify them, it's going to give you a good idea. If they tell me no, they don't want the trip insurance, and what I'll do is I'll quote it without the insurance. But it's gonna give you an option at the end of this, when I show you here in a second, it will tell you that if you wanted to add it, how much it would be. So then I sent them the quote and I said, that's when I say, if you decide that you wanna add the trip protection, this is what it will cost, per person or total for ever how many travelers you have. So you just kind of have to figure out on your own, like, what are your qualifying questions that you want to ask? And I kind of taught myself as I went. The first time I did it, I thought I had everything covered. And then you get in here and you start playing around. You're like, oh, I didn't ask that. Oh, I didn't ask this. So you just kind of continue to add it to your list for your qualifying questions so that you know, and then it'll just become second nature. So when we get to this point right here, this is going to be where you will begin to be able to look at your air. So Frontier Airlines, it's not a bad airlines. If your customers say they don't have a preference, if they want to try to go the cheapest route, Frontier will be. But just know up front, Frontier is going to charge you to choose your seat. They're going to charge you for your bags. This is each leg as well. So sometimes, even though Frontier's tickets are super cheap, if you've got a family traveling for a week somewhere, they're not going to be able to pack in a carry-on. They're going to have checked bags. It's going to cost them to do that. And sometimes those tickets can end up being more than if they just went with Delta straight up across the board. So here's where you can click on so you can see your different flight options. Because I already know that I would want to choose Frontier. I'm not a Frontier fan. You just don't want to have unhappy clients for anything that could arise. If you give them a quote and they tell you that, oh, that's qualifying too, you want to know a budget. That's super important. Do you have a budget in mind? Some people are going to say, well, I don't know, you got to give me something to start with, then I can give you a couple options within your price range. And so if you give them a quote and it has the air, say for instance, we did Delta or something, and they said, ooh, that's just more than I want to spend. You can say, well, we can take a look at changing your airlines to, Frontier or whatever, maybe offered. And then you can always let them know, you can change your flights, but you're going to have to pay for your seat, pay for your bags. You got to pay for a carry-on with Frontier. You got to pay for a check bag. It's the only thing I think they allow you is a personal item for free, and that's it. So that all depends. So my husband and I do fly Frontier often because we go to Cancun about 3 times a year. Just booked another one last night for September. We just got back in May. We love it, of course. It's such a short flight for us from Atlanta. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes and we're there. Even though this says 2 hours and 47 minutes, that's total boarding, taxi and all that stuff. Literally 2 hours, 10, 15 minutes, we're there and landed and you get to enjoy your day. So we have done Frontier, but we have also learned, and all of you as travel agents, when you start traveling, you're going to learn to pack lightly and condense your stuff. This past May, we did go, and both of us packed in a carry-on for an entire week. So it was challenging, but we did it. So sometimes Frontier does work out. So here is where you can use your filters. They want a morning departure. I always choose morning departures for my clients because, everybody wants to get up, get going for their vacation and get to where they're going as soon as they can. Arrival time, obviously morning, you could choose that. I don't use these filters. I'm just showing you what you can. And I always do nonstop flights. I give them that option first. You can ask them that when you qualify. Do you want direct flights if they're available? Or do you have a preference? If it ends up being, more economical for you within your budget, do you care if there's a stop? How long of a layover do you want? My clients, I've kind of trained them, and even with new ones, I'll train them and kind of explain why I prefer nonstop with Cancun being such a short. So I'm going to do nonstop. And you can filter out your airlines right here. It will tell you, obviously, nobody has any options except Aeromexico, Delta, and Aeromexico is ran by Delta. Frontier has one flight, and then the rest of these don't. I know I'm choosing Delta. That's my go-to. All right. And then you come here, and this is where you see your flights. So 8:25 is a pretty good departure time. I do some 6 o'clock, 6:30s, but you always ask your client if they're willing to travel as early as 6 a.m. You got to remind them, okay, even though you're willing to take a flight that leaves at 6:30, you do realize that you have to be at the airport by 4:30, 2 hours before, international, especially at a large airport like this. And here's a 9:45. I want you to look at the prices right here. $38.19 is your cheapest. That's going to be your non-refundable basic economy fare. Changes, upgrades, and seat selections are not available. So this means they're going to be assigned their seat when they check in. And they're not going to be able to make any changes or upgrades to this. So this is a restricted fare ticket. If I choose this for my client, they know that up front. I make that very, very clear to them, okay? So if you wanted to jump up to a main cabin, which would allow you to be able to choose your seat, and probably does give you some options to change some things if needed, or refundable cabin, but you see how the prices increase. Now, this goes from $38.19 to $39.02. Is that a big difference? Not enough for me not to quote this, to give your clients a good option. So we're going to choose that flight there for the departing flight. And then when it finishes loading, then you're going to go and do your returning flight. It will give you an option, and this one is not bad. Going for an entire week. Most people are eager to get there. Most people are eager to get back home. I know I am, even though we travel a lot. After 7 days somewhere, if we don't jump around, I'm ready to get back home, especially all-inclusive resorts. You can only eat the same food. I don't care if they have 15 restaurants at that place. By the 6th or 7th day, you are tired of eating the same food over and over, especially if you're a picky eater like my husband. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with this flight, but if you click on return flights, it does the same thing. You can use the filter. Again, you can do filter over here. I know I want nonstop, so let's pick that. So here's a 205 returning, 351 return, and again, you want to pick the same leg back. We did main cabin. You wouldn't want to choose this one for the return, because then that would not give you all of the same things. 1225, which is the one I think we have picked. So at 38.19, it stays the same. This one's the same. So all of these are in the same price fare. So let's just scroll on back down here and get my 1225 flight. Here, if you picked it, click on it, and we want to do main basic economy. So you see right here, you can pick it again. We do not want to do this non-refundable stuff because I chose my main cabin. So we're going to do this one right here to make sure you get the correct leg. Always want to double check that. And the same fare price. Okay, so here we go. Main cabin, main cabin. We know we're good. Atlanta to Cancun, Cancun to Atlanta. And now we come to where we can filter our hotel. So when you want to search for a hotel, or if you're just trying to look what's available, this is where you click on the hotel tab. Sometimes VAX is a little slow. Still got your flights up there. So then you can scroll down here, and this is where you're going to start seeing all your options. And these prices are not in any order, not highest to lowest. You can sort that way. I do preferred because it kind of shows what the preference is, what's been trending, what gets good reviews. VAX is really good about this. You can filter over here. You can put in a particular hotel name if you wanted to, and it would pull it up if it's available. You can do any filters you want to use. I typically don't use filters. If you wanted to only do all-inclusive, then you could pick this tab. And it's going to filter out all of your all-inclusive resorts, okay? So then you can just kind of scroll down and kind of look at what's available. Like I said, these are preferred. You can kind of read what the options are. So here's an upgraded bonus. So you would get an additional 2% bonus commissions booking this one. It's got a bonus. It's got a promotion for group E's bonus, which means you have a group. It's got to have 5 rooms or more. Could it qualify for exclusive discounts? So you just want to go over all of this. I was trying to find one that had waves promotion, because anything that shows waves, I kind of stick to that, because you're able to collect points and redeem it for money or for your own use. This is an ultra deal. And you can see right here, if you choose this for your client, if you're trying to save them some money, then it's going to reduce your commission by 3%. I probably wouldn't pick this unless I knew I had to stay within a particular budget. This hotel will give you a price match, and you will earn 10% commissions on matches. So just make sure you read all your little specials. I'm just gonna come back up here and pick this one because it's easy. So here is the Grand Oasis Cancun. Let's just pick it. If you click this, it's gonna pull this up for you. You're able to just kind of see, read about it. Shows you some pictures. This little spot right here, the Pyramid Grand Oasis, has been my husband's and my favorite go-to hotel. We've been here probably 5 or 6 times. Now we're tired of it. Especially doing what I do, it's given us some options to be able to go to some different places. But this is a really neat hotel. It's a good bang for your buck. You can see amenities, you can do your tabs, you can read reviews. I recommend whatever hotel you pick, even if a client gives you a particular resort they want to go to, please read the reviews. If you see any negativity enough to make a difference, let your clients know. They may want to take a look at the reviews before they agree to book it. You don't want to be held responsible for a bad trip. And when I say bad reviews, I mean, if you pull it up and you've got, over 50% bad reviews, I'm going to be like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to stand behind it. If you have a few reviews that gives, somebody that's gotten upset, somebody's gotten mad because maybe something didn't go their way, we all know that happens. We could go to the finest restaurant for steaks and somebody could just get, the wrong mashed potatoes or whatever, and they may give a bad review. Those are the kind of things I'm talking about, okay? So you just want to make sure that you do your due diligence. It's very, very important, and you will learn this in time as you continue to grow. Okay, so here we're going to look at their different room categories. This is where you can see all of the available rooms they have. So Grand Standard means just a standard room. This will not put any in it. So as you see, as you continue to move up, it adds prices. And then here you also can see the unavailable rooms. So for September, this resort, a lot of rooms are not available, which probably means they're probably 50% sold out. Let's just choose Grand Standard for now. If you pick a room type, you don't know what the different room types are, you can always go directly to the hotel's website and look at their room types. I'm very, very, very careful about that. I always make sure that I try to know what I'm offering my clients. You don't want, ocean view is going to be a view of the ocean. There could be a partial obstruction. You're not going to be oceanfront. Oceanfront means just that. So you always want to research, make sure you know what you're offering your clients. So we just did the basic room, Grand Standard. Okay. And then you're going to scroll on down here. So this is already giving you reduced rate. So this is a deal that they're giving you. All right, you get $55 per person instant savings automatically for both guests. Now this is shared transportation that is already included. If they wanted to upgrade to private, then you would click on features. That's another good qualifying question. If they want their transfers included, are they okay with shared transfers, or would they like to do a private transfer? Most of the time, private transfer is not that much more to add it. So here's your travel protection options as well. This is already included. Travel Protection Plus gives you a full travel credit. It's not a full refund. So it's $89.99 per person. So I'm not sure who asked me about that travel credit. So this is where you could tell them it's included, but if they wanted to remove it, then they could deduct $179.98 from the total quote that you give them if they didn't want to have it, okay? So let's click on our features button. Oh, I was already there. Okay, we're gonna come on down here. Here's a deluxe private transfer. This is the only private transfer they offer for this one. So if you wanted to add it, it gives you up to 5 passengers. So I could add $134 to this package price and offer it to my client for private. But if they don't tell me they want private and they're okay with shared, I just leave it. We always do private because I'm right, I'm the one of those that let's get off the plane, get outside, get in my car. I don't want to wait for Mary Jane or Joe Blow or whoever it is that is at the bar trying to get that last minute beer, or they haven't got their luggage. And you know, these shared transportation services sometimes will wait around 20-30 minutes to get everybody together, because obviously that's where they get their value from, is putting as many people as they can. So I do private, and I do explain that to some of my clients. The reason why I pick private, and most of the time it'll be an upgrade, and you do the upgrade, you're going to get your commission on that as well. We're just going to leave this how it is for now. Okay. I'm going to leave the travel protection included. And here's what you can do. If you're ready to book it, obviously we're not, most of the time you're not, but if you're ready to book, then you just click, check out. Okay. But we're going to save this quote so that we can go back to it and create our quote. Now, I've got a training from VAX on how to create a quote. I'm not going to go that far because we're well into the hour. I try to keep my trainings at an hour. But if you want that training from me that shows you how to actually, after we save this quote, how to take it and put it into a quote easily via email or on a Google Doc or something like that, feel free to reach out to me via Messenger. If you can't find me on Messenger, just ask your mentor, hey, Deidre did a training and she told me it was perfectly fine for me to ask you how to get in touch with her. I don't care if you guys want my phone number. It doesn't matter to me. I'm one of those that's a huge helper. All right. I'm just going to put it in the chat box now so that all of you do have my phone number. Please feel free. I love to help. Just remind me who you are. When you send me the text or you call me via voicemail, there's my name. So if you want to store me, you can. I don't mind it at all. So we're going to say, oh, look, let me show you this. So when you want to see what your commissions is going to be on this trip. So our total price is going to be $3109.19. That's shared transportation, and that does include insurance. So here's where you're going to want to go and find your commissions. Boom. So the commissions on this trip would be $318.90. Now, when you see that value, remember, we get 80% of our commissions. So we do $318.90 times 80%, means you're going to earn $255.12. If you don't think that's good enough, you've done a lot of work for this client. If this is maybe your, well, I do 2 quotes for free. After 2 quotes, I start adding additional commission in here for a service fee. Okay. So let's say you want to add $50 on here. You just do that, or you could do it by percentage, add $50, and then you hit set commission, changes the price to $3159.19, and it raises your commissions to $363. So then that means you would get, whoops, what did I say, 363? 80. So you get almost $300 commission. So I do 2 quotes for free. I don't add anything on it. I take my commission as it is, because something's better than nothing is the way I look at it. Take that back out, drops our price back down to where we were. You know what that is. The net portion is what the actual supplier will net. Okay. If you click display as line item, I don't even know what it does. So, and then we can just close this back out. So that's how you find your commission, is in your booking admin. All right. So here we go, 3109. Now we're going to save this quote. Click save. It will allow you to name the itinerary. So let's just say Deidre. And I always do this. Put the hotel that you're quoting. It'll make it very easy when you start doing more and more quotes, especially if you try to do 3 or 4 for one person. Then you want to be able to know which hotel it is when you go back to it. So then all you do is hit save your itinerary. It tells you it's saved, hit OK. And then it brings you back now to find that particular itinerary. We go to retrieve saved itinerary. So this is going to be how you find it. Here we are. See how I have all these kind of named? This was the first one I did for him. This was another family This was with just one room, 2 suites. This was Ritz-Carlton, not all inclusive. This was for my glass on my second quote, hi, it's Alara. Then here's mine. Then you just come over here. If you want to delete a quote, all you do is hit delete and it takes it out. I have a bad habit of putting so many in here and then I have to come here and clean them out. Sometimes I'll open this up and I have 20 of these things in here and I'm like, oh gosh, what's what? So then you just click go. And it just pulls that whole itinerary back up. Now, just because you send someone a quote and you do a saved out of a saved itinerary, please know, always let your clients know if it's an email or if it's on the Google Doc that you're doing, make it the first thing they see, highlighted in red. This is a quote only. Prices and availability are subject to change until booking is secured with a deposit or payment. That way you let them know. If they're ready to book and they like this price, you could come back in here in a minute. And this has happened to me. I'll come back to something an hour later and either there's not a flight available because flights have been filled up or flights have changed or that fare class is gone. And I've had it happen to where I'll see it totally change and it'll pop up in red right here if there's something that's changed. So just make sure to cover yourselves that you always add that in your quotes. You don't want to let them think, okay, this is your price. And then 2 days later, they come back and you say, okay, I'm ready to book. And you pull it back up and you're like, I'm sorry, it's not the same price. They're going to be like, well, why didn't you tell me that? It's just one of those things you want to cover yourself. So that's how you come in here and you find all that. And again, to create a quote is really easy. We're not going to go into that today, but if you want my training on that, I'm happy to provide it to you. I'm very thorough when I do my trainings. Sometimes I go over my hour. Sometimes I get long-winded, but I have so many of you new agents that love this kind of assistance because I know we throw a lot at you. We give you a lot. There's a lot of information to absorb. It can be overwhelming. And, you know, I used to do really detailed and in-depth trainings, and I still do some of those. Most of those are in my team building side. But I decided that I wanted to start gearing towards you guys. I wanted to help you. I wanted to give you a reason to be relieved. I wanted to help you know that it's not as hard as what you think. So that's why I do these trainings and that's why I'm so thorough. That's why I offer my information for you guys to reach out to me. So does anybody have any questions before I get back out of this? So I see iPhone and I think that's Joshua. I just saw it. So do you tell clients you're adding the extra above the 2 quotes? Absolutely not. This is a nice way. So this is the difference in collecting a booking fee or a research fee up front and you having to tell the clients that. I kind of have learned now, unless I'm doing instant commission in the Evo Plus or any platform that you can add your market to, I've kind of learned how to navigate through that. So clients don't have to know that. If you want to tell them that, sometimes I'll have a client that tries to run me through the ringer and I'm like, look, I give you 2 quotes free, anything in additional to that, especially when they don't know what they want. Okay, because you may have to provide them 3 or 4 options, and I normally do. When I get to that 3rd quote is where I'll add maybe $25, $50 on it. But then just remember, if you do that and that's included in a price that you give them, when you pull these back up, let me show you something. This one right here, just because I add $100 to this, it's going to change the price to $32.49. Okay, so that's set. Even though you do that, I want you to watch what happens really quick. You have to make sure that when you come back and you retrieve that itinerary, see how it put that price? Now I want you to pay attention. It shows the $32.49.19. So that is the price with your $100 or whatever I put in there included. Now watch this. Let's say we were not in this booking and I was trying to go back and pull it up. Here it is. Let's click go. You have to make sure that if those clients end up booking with you, and most of the time they will, when you put in the effort that I kind of teach to do, it ends up paying off. There's some that you may not get them. I've had times where I've sent somebody 4 or 5 different options, even with my, price in there, and they end up not booking. It is frustrating. But most of the time it does work out, especially if you stay connected and you communicate with your travelers. Now, look, see, because I retrieved that price is out of there. So when you go back, if they're ready to book, you have to come back in this booking admin. You have to click on this again and you have to add your $100. So this is if you're ready to book. Now it's got that fee in there, so you're gonna get paid that extra on top when you get ready to book it. So if you pull it up and you come in here and you're just looking for something, know that it's gonna revert back to the regular price. So now this is ready. So if I was ready to book, I would come down here because I added it back in and I would begin my booking. This is where you would enter all your payment information. It's where you gotta have their names, all this good stuff. Okay. So Joshua, I hope that answered your question, okay? Okay, anybody have any questions? No? How does everybody feel? Anybody that was overwhelmed, do you feel a little better now, seeing that it's really a lot easier than it looks to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is exactly why I do these, because these suppliers can be woo-wee when you get in them. But really and truly, it's all pretty self-explanatory. And I teach myself something every day. I really do. Every time I do a booking, I may find something else that I didn't know about. Just by me going through all of those tabs in the beginning I did with you, I found some areas that I'm going to go back and explore. Just because I don't ever take the time to do that. Joshua, 100%, it is a lot. Bilpa, I am going to be dropping it and adding it in the chat, so your mentors will have it. I already put my phone number in here. I won't be emailing it to you, but it will be accessible. It'll be loaded into the your team chats or your websites, wherever you guys are. I think Bilpa, you're part of Skyline, so it'll be in Empire. So Joshua, yeah, you just do got to play around with it, and you're very, very welcome. Let me stop our recording. So we're going to end our recording.